Hello, this is Debra Peek-Haynes with Debra's Healing Kitchen, and we are having a wonderful conversation with Dr. Margaret Betts. This is part 2 of our discussion. You've got to go back to part 1, but we're going to continue this. This is just a rich discussion we're having with this phenomenal woman. And so right now I want to continue with my questions. I'll make sure I don't get any of this wrong. But Dr. Betts, what do you typically share with your patients in general about the foods they eat? Just give us a general way that you approach them. And then we have 2 other questions.
Well, basically, the cliche is not so a cliche. It's a truth. You are what you eat. And if you don't eat from the earth, you're not nourishing your body the way it should. I always tell patients, try to avoid anything in a bag, bottle, box, or can. Except
bag, bottle, box, or can.
Yeah, okay. Except bottled water, maybe frozen vegetables, things like that. But basically, I'm sending them back. If you want to be healthy, you got to fix your food at home. I'm not asking you to cook every day, but you can cook 3 or 4 meals on Sunday.
Right.
And then I give them information like the greatest number of people who live to be 100 or more live in a little country, Sardinia, that is secluded, and they eat flesh 5 times a month.
A month.
A month.
Not a day.
A day. 5 times a month. I also share with them, it has been known that flesh, and I define flesh as anything you have to catch, to kill, to cook, to eat. So that's all of it. Is responsible in part or in total to 95% of all diagnosable diseases.
Wow, 95%.
95%.
Wow.
So, and now especially what you put in the food. Going back to those people in Sardinia, they season their meat before they kill it. They put the phytonutrients in the ground.
Right.
And the cows and the sheep, etc., eat good stuff. And by the time they're led to slaughter, all of that good stuff is in the meat already. So it's a different process than what we do here. And everyone knows what we do here. It's a lot of steroids. It's a lot of antibiotics. It's a lot of tranquilizers, because they want it to be as big as possible so they can make as much money as possible. But then when they put that stuff in the food, that's getting into your body as well.
Right.
So
that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
So just giving them, they must read the labels. And we, sometimes I have a little label. They will see on the label 100 calories. And they think the whole bag is 100 calories.
Right.
but the portion is 100 calories.
Right. And we don't look at the portion.
Right. We say, oh, this whole bag is 100 calories. And it's this big. So that teaching them how to understand what's going into their bodies.
Right.
And just basic. And then after I open up the conversation, I try to address any of the questions that they have.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Not buying a lot of stuff to be at home. If you want to have company, feed your company some good stuff, some holistic stuff. And so maybe they will go back and buy some of it as well.
Yes, I can say that I have tried that at home with some of my company, and it's worked, I would say 60% of the time. Question, Dr. Betts. What do you think about this proliferation of seedless fruits and its impact on our health? Because now it's so difficult to find grapes with seeds, watermelon with seeds, and people think that this is good. And I'm saying, no, this is not good. This is not how God made it. So what do you think about that, and what can we do about it?
Well, it's not only grapes with seeds. I had a cucumber with no seeds. And normally when you go back to water in the summer, cucumbers are 95% water. So I always tell patients, if you don't drink your water, you can eat your water. And you eat your water by getting the fruits and vegetables with a lot of water. Seedless vegetables could mean the beginning of the end of civilization.
Wow.
because it's asexual reproduction.
Mm.
And even though, and some man or automatic or technological mechanism has to intervene to cause this asexual reproduction.
Wow.
It does not have the same amount of vitamins and nutrients that the regular vegetable has. So we really need to be careful. It's going to have to take a collective approach.
Right.
I don't know if it's from the Food and Drug Administration or the federal government, but they just slowly introduce these things into our communities, and we buy it.
And
Now,
if we don't say anything,
we don't say anything.
And then if we don't know that this is bad, we won't say anything. But I think what you're saying, hopefully people will start waking up.
Yes. And then they have not released the amount of chemicals that it takes to do all this stuff.
Mm.
Once that is in the public eye, because I've researched it and trying to find it. Maybe I'm not looking on the right website, but there has to be some chemicals to stop reproduction normally. Asexual reproduction is really, you're going to get to an end of it after a while. Now, there's a seed bank in Norway, and this seed bank has all the seeds that are possible in the on this earth. And I don't know if they have a watermelon seed, a grape seed. I guess they should. If people know, if you get to the point where the seedless nutrients of vegetable was fruits. I can't even remember a seedless vegetable, but maybe they're going to attack tomatoes. No, tomato is a fruit. Hope everybody remembered that. I don't know the end result of the seedless fruits and vegetables, because we haven't gotten there yet. But asexual reproduction, figure out what happens with asexual reproduction when natural reproduction is sexual with a male and female part.
Right. Well, that is really what you just said is so enlightening. I hope it causes us to think, and we can always write our Congress people and complain or ask questions. I think that's how things start, because if they start seeing more and more of it, wait a minute, they're waking up. Let's see what changes we need to make. So
and actually be aware if they have, and in these big stores, they'll have seedless watermelons. If all those watermelons stay in that area, and each individual customer asks for seeded watermelons or other fruits, then they would probably start buying.
Yes, I did that the other day at the health food store. I said, wait a minute, where are the seeded fruits? They said, well, I don't know. I said, would you please find out? I need to talk to the manager. So we need to do more.
That's what they're buying, because it's cheaper, but cheaper is not always better.
No, because you pay on the end.
You pay on the end.
So with my last question, I want to ask you about what supplements or natural remedies have you known to really make a difference, professionally as well as personally? Because I know you practice what you preach.
Right. Well, certainly, if you want to live longer, and you want and the only way you can live longer is to rest your organs and make sure that your organs are detoxed. Whenever you swallow or eat anything, all of the organs have to come up to action and work. So they used to call it intermittent fasting, but now they call it time fasting. If you fast more than 12 to 15 hours, you are automatically giving yourself a detox. Don't try to detox with a laxative, because you're only detoxing your colon. You're not detoxing your cells. Decreasing the food or the time that you eat detoxes the body and all of its 100 trillion cells. So timed eating. If you're not hungry, don't just assume, it's breakfast, I gotta eat. We are addicted and it's habitual, but we have to be more conscious about when we eat and what we eat. And I mentioned 35 100 calories is 1 pound. So if you're gaining weight, a lady comes in and gains 10 pounds in a month, I say you've eaten 35,000 more calories this month than you did last month.
Oh, you go by the month.
How can that be? I don't eat that much. And I always say it's not about the portion size, it's the concentration of calories in that portion size.
Well, quick question
So we gotta
regarding
really-
that, Dr. Betts. A quick question. So let me ask you this. If a vegetable, say we're eating, I don't know, peas and it's 30 calories per serving, is the same 30 calories the same as if you eat a piece of candy that's 30 calories? As far as your body being able to burn up the calories. So is it a little different depending on the concentration?
It's much different. Our bodies are, we are a walking biology, chemistry experience or biology lab. We have probably anywhere from 7 to 10,000 reactions that go every minute, every 2 minutes in our bodies, all day, every day. It's just going. And in order for them to go to fruition normally, you got to put in the boron, the copper, the all of those elements that we see on a periodic table. That's basically the human body. And you have some of those in the peas. You have none of them in the candy. So if you want to be healthy, we don't have to take medication. It is not an assumed as you get older that you're going to need the medication. No. We as African Americans have only had health care since 1964 when Martin Luther King had Lyndon Baines Johnson sign the Civil Rights Act. And for those people who don't understand it, go back and get that. I mean, you can pull it up. So what did we do prior to 1964?
Right.
When we lived longer, when we ate everything at home because the families didn't have extra income to go to Burger King or to one of the fine restaurants. We really got to understand that we are one with nature. And
so
when we breathe in oxygen,
Dr. Betts, did our mothers go to the garden or go to the yard and pull some things and started cooking it and boiling it?
Went to the backyard or to the farmer's market and started cooking and boiling it. And some of the stuff they boiled for medicinal purposes. So they boiled and stored it in the medicine cabinet or under the sink. So when we got sick, they'd either rub it under our nose or rub it on our chest. And
wasn't it in a glass jar? And a lot in glass jars.
Yes, and I'm sure a lot of your listeners can understand that. There was always something that smelled horrible, but you felt better the next day.
Right.
So we have to understand how we are one with nature. We have energy when the sun comes up. We get tired when the sun goes down. We breathe in oxygen, which is a byproduct. It's a waste product of the green plants. We breathe out carbon dioxide, which is a food for those plants. So we can't live without the green plants. They can't live without us.
It's the cycle, isn't it?
It's a symbiotic relationship, a cycle. You're absolutely right. And when you see that, when you understand that cycle, most of your food should be from the earth. It's a weed there's not a definition of a weed because everything on the ground, everything that grows in your garden, in your grass that you hate, and you get the weed killer to kill, look it up because now your cell phone, you can take a picture of it and it'll pop up what it is and what it's used for. We should be learning and eating from the ground more often than driving through a drive-through.
That's good.
We see more now. In the past, we used to see heart attacks in their 40s, 50s, 60s. Now we're seeing in the 20s because these kids have started eating fast foods when they're 2 and 3 and 4 years old.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, this is really wonderful, the wisdom that you're sharing. And I want our listeners to please communicate with me on my social media when you hear this, We really want to hear, what do you think about these gems that have been shared by Dr. Betts? And what are you going to do with it? So I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Debra's Healing Kitchen is my Facebook page. So please go to Debra's Healing Kitchen, give me your comments, love to hear from you. We want to also know what else you would like to know from someone like a Dr. Betts. And I do have to say thank you to our sponsor, CVS. We really appreciate them. This is probably, I think, the second or third time they've sponsored this type of online event. So I really appreciate that, sponsorship from them. So this makes this happen. And we will come back with you again, but Dr. Margaret Betts, thank you so much. We look forward to another session with you. I hope you'll be open to it.
Yeah, there's so much I have to say. And I know there's time limits, but sometimes you push a button and I just go, because I do, my spirit tells me to teach my people.
Right.
And I want them to know what I know.
Right.
And if they know better, they'll do better.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for this time. And we are going to give you another opportunity to come back and share more. So this is not the end. Excuse me. This is the beginning.
Sure. I'm
Thank
excited
you again. And for everyone that is tuning in, let me know your comments. Go to Debra's Healing Kitchen on Facebook, and we will be back to you at another time. But please share with your friends and family, because when we get something that God gives us to bless us, we need to share the blessing. So thanks again, CVS. Really appreciate this. And signing off, Debra Peek-Haynes at Debra's Healing Kitchen. So be healthy. Thank you.